Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of A Gardener's Journey Homestead. I am Barbara, and y'all, even as I'm doing this video, it is raining. Y'all, it's been raining for 2 weeks. It's been hard to get things done outside, but by hook or by crook, we're gonna do this video because I want to show you before the month ends how things are doing at the end of July. So in this video, I'm gonna give you a tour of all the garden stuff, and we're starting outside the house. It's sprinkling now, so I'm gonna try to do this part before it comes down in a full downpour. But if you're brand new here, thank you for stopping by my channel. I'm in Tennessee in Zone 7B, and 4 years ago I had never put my hands in dirt, but now I have a thriving garden. Yes, a thriving garden, just simply from doing the work, learning as much as I can, and now I've invited to take you on the journey with me. So I've been on YouTube now for 2 years. I wish I would have started at the beginning of my journey 4 years ago, but 2 years ago I decided to start a YouTube channel to inspire and to educate people to grow food and to have a repository for people that are brand new to gardening, that they can click on my channel and feel safe, feel seen, and feel like they too can grow food, because I'm just going to take you through my journey and try to make it as simple as possible. So I want to invite you today to kind of see what's going on in the garden. So where I am right now is in the back of my house. This is where my garden actually started. I started with 4 raised beds 4 years ago in April 2020. Now, as you see throughout the rest of the video, you can see that we've expanded just a little bit, but let me show you what's going on in the back of the house. Now, this is the no judgment zone. It has been raining here literally for 2 weeks every single day. We have one more day of rain according to the forecast, and then it's supposed to be all sunshine and back in the 90s. So for the past 2 weeks, y'all, it's been in the low 80s. I don't think it's gotten above 84, but we have not had sunshine. It has literally rained every single day, which, again, I'm here for the rain because the crops love it. But y'all know too much of anything is not good, and everything is soggy, everything is wet. It's been hard to do any outside content just because it's always like, you know how you used to play back in the day? What's that game? Oh, the jump rope. The jump rope. You know how you be waiting on your turn? You be like, that's how it is. That's how it is. I'm like, is it raining? Is it not? And it's sprinkling now, but I can deal with it. I got braids. I'm not going to melt. So we're going to go ahead and get this video done or whatever. But that's what's been going on here for the last couple of weeks. I want to show you how things are progressing. It's the last week of July. And July by far is always our heaviest harvest month. That's when everything is in full bloom, and it's harvest for days. So when I think about the summertime, June, July, and August, July is usually our biggest harvest month, especially here now in Zone 7. If you guys are in a different zone, let me know what your biggest harvest months are. If you're in Zone 7, let me know if July is your biggest harvest month. But let's start with the green stalks. So behind me are my green stalks. If you're not familiar with green stalk, let me just give you a quick little PSA, public service announcement. If you grow food or want to grow food and you have limited space, this is a great option. It literally takes up 2 feet of space. Like, that's it. It is a vertical gardening system. I don't know if y'all can hear the rain. It's starting to come down. But it's a vertical gardening system. I got a total of 4. Y'all only see 2. Well, that's my 3rd one. You probably like, well, Barbara, what a 4th one? Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I got me a new one coming. It'll be here this week that I took advantage of the sale. If you missed the sale, was it 2 weeks ago? You missed it. But if you want a green stalk, I have several videos on it, and I have a code. You can get $10 off your order. Go to greenstalk.com, greenstalkgarden.com. And my code is LFF10 for Living Foods Farm. But if you forget all that, just go to the description below. I have an exact link that'll take you to it and will automatically apply the $10 off. I'm going a little fast, y'all, because it's raining. It's coming on down a little bit more. But look here, y'all. You can see I got some tomatoes. Let me bring you closer. Cherry tomatoes. My flowers are popping. My herbs are popping. So overall, everything is looking very, very good in the green stalks. This one over here in the back is where I had my strawberries. I had said in a previous video I was going to take all of those out and actually put green beans in there. I have not as of yet. I think I'm still going to, if I can get a break in the weather. If I can get a break in the weather. Okay, I'm gonna flip this camera around real quick just to give you some proof and evidence of what I'm growing back here. And then I'm gonna have to meet you in the high tunnel where it's covered and I won't get soaking wet. Okay, y'all, this first bed is our Roma tomatoes. They are popping, y'all. It is loaded. Loaded, 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 loaded. It is loaded with Roma tomatoes. I have 3 beds of these. That's bed 1. That's bed 2. It's hard to see, but I got flowers everywhere. I'm sorry, not 3 beds, 2 beds of the Roma tomatoes. And then this bed here is where we had those plants that weren't doing so well. I kept 2 of the plants. And then I have a sunflower them tall. And then here's the sweet potato bed on the other right side, our green beans that are coming in. Okay, y'all, it's pouring. Gotta go. Okay, y'all, I don't know if you can see that. Just like that. I almost got soaking wet. Like, literally, y'all, this is what it's been doing for 2 weeks. I wasn't only out there. I wasn't even out there 5 minutes. Whatever you are at this point in the video, that's how long I've been out there. Like, I didn't come in the house. I didn't pause it. You saw, literally, that is what's been happening. So, I didn't get a lot of good shots up close. But let me just talk about it from here. I love y'all, but I ain't gonna stand in the soaking rain, you know, for minutes and minutes and minutes. So let me tell you what's going on. So basically you saw the green stalks. They are doing well. In terms of vegetables and stuff that's still growing are peppers and tomatoes and the herbs. I'm not going to plant anything new in there like for the summer. I'm going to let it ride its course, and then we will be transitioning those green stalks to fall crops. And I'll take you guys along with me when we do that. I probably would not do that until probably another 30 days or so. And I'll talk about the reason why when I get to that step. But then when I showed you behind my house in that first raised bed were tons of Roma tomatoes. Now they haven't started blushing or turning red. They're all green, but the plant is overloaded. And I'm sure they have not blushed just because the temperature has been a little bit too mild and just with all the rain. We've turned off all drip irrigation everywhere on the farm so that nothing is automatically coming on because we're getting plenty enough from Mother Nature. It doesn't even have time to dry out. But the Roma tomatoes, hopefully they will all, I saw some that were rotting in the back of the bed. It's probably just from too much moisture. But it doesn't make sense for me to pull the Roma tomatoes if they haven't blushed because I can't use them anyway. So hopefully this week we will start to see some blushing. And if so, we should have a pretty good harvest of Roma tomatoes. So I have 2 beds of Romas. That first bed has more Roma tomatoes that's already like ready to go outside of blushing. The second bed has more flowers than tomatoes, but it's well on its way. Then on that very last bed is sweet potatoes in one half of the bed and then jade green beans on the other half of the bed. And I already have some jade green beans. I just did not get a close-up shot to show you the evidence, but I have some jade green beans and we should be harvesting those this week. So I will try to take you along with me specifically for the harvest that is out there so that way you can see, which y'all know I'm legit. Y'all know I'm legit, okay? But just in case, for the new people, I'll let you see it on camera if I get a chance. So that's what's going on in the back of the house. And so if you're brand new here, like I said, we started here with our garden 4 years ago. We now have 2 extra growing spaces that I will show you as well. But when it comes to the fall, when I first started my garden, I used to have crops out here and I would cover and protect them and all that good stuff. I don't do that anymore. I only use my high tunnel for fall crops. Now I will do my garlic out here, but that's about it. I don't plant lettuce, kale, collards. I don't do any of that out here. No, not that I can't, but because I have a high tunnel, I just use that primarily and we're able to produce more than enough food for our family and excess and preserving with just the high tunnel. So it just made sense to not be all over the place in the fall and winter. meaning plant in all three of my growing spaces. We only use the greenhouse with a high tunnel during the fall and the winter instead of all three. Now in the summertime, we're wide open. We got all three spaces going, as you will see on this video. But for the fall and winter, we only use the high tunnel because we can produce more than enough just with that alone. So let's leave the house. Let's go down to the high tunnel and I'll meet you down there. Okay, friends, now we're in the high tunnel, and just like that, we got sun. We haven't had sun in a minute, and I told you that we only have one more day of rain, and then after that the temperatures are going to shoot back up to like 95 to 97 and pure sunshine. Now I'm going to try not to complain when it's real hot outside. Now one thing that is nice when I would say here when we've had this rain for the last couple of weeks is that the temperatures have been very mild. So if you can catch a time in the daytime when it's not pouring down raining, you're outside, it has been pleasant to work. It's just that you can't work for any extended period of time because the rain comes. But it's been like in the 80s, which is great. So definitely would not be out here in the middle of the day when it's not raining and the sun is so high. So we're in the tunnel now. I'm going to take you around and show you what's going on in the tunnel, and then talk about some plans as we start to think about transitioning to the fall. We're not 100% there yet, but I got to start thinking about it and figuring out what I'm going to do where, because in the tunnel, things will keep going, and it'll come to a point to either I'll have to decide to let it keep going and delay fall planting, or pull it up so that I can start fall planting. But let's jump in and take a look at what's going on. So in this first container is my orange mint. It is doing really, really well. I need to harvest some more. And then in this first bed are I have a always in the garden, like this is not supposed to be here. This is like something that I did not plant that looks almost like a dahlia. What is that? That can't be a sweet potato because that's not how sweet potatoes grow. I'm not sure what that is. Okay, so back to this bed. You know, you can always tell what's what when it's something that you didn't plant. So you can see this first row here are, I think, bell peppers. I see one down there. You can see it peeking through the thing. These are poblano peppers here on this middle row. And then here, where's the light colored, I'm trying to see if I can bring these back to life. These are jalapeno peppers that I had in the outside garden. And I'll talk to you about that. But it had too much water in that row, and it just went straight yellow. So I brought them in here and transplanted them. They've only been in here, I would say, a couple of days. No, probably 4 days. And so I'm going to see if I can bring them back to life and get the color returned to them, and that they will grow. And then look, y'all, I have one lettuce right there. And then, of course, the eucalyptus. Now, the poblanos, again, it's my first time growing poblanos. I only have like this one there that's turned red, but I didn't think poblanos were supposed to turn red, and I thought they were supposed to be bigger than that. Oh, I have another one. Huh. Y'all, okay, if you've grown poblanos, are they supposed to turn red? Which I guess a lot of peppers all turn red when it's overripe or ripened to past the green. But I thought they were supposed to be bigger than that because people said you could stuff them. That's not big enough to stuff. Y'all let me know. Because I've never grown poblano peppers, and that's why it's interesting to grow something new that you've never grown before, so you can see kind of how it does. These plants were on sale, like buy one, get one half off, and so I tried it and put them in my garden, but those are the only two that I see. So as of now, they're not real prolific, but y'all let me know what your experience has been with those. Okay, so this bed here is where we have our jade green beans. I see that I have more to harvest, which is good. And y'all, I got the same flower that's right here that I know that I didn't plant right here. Interesting. And this one doesn't have a root. But yeah, that's, I don't know what that is. But then I have celosia back there, my zinnias, and then I have jalapenos in here. So they're still doing good. And then I have a Thai red chili pepper there that's starting to produce really, really well. And then here is my lemon balm in a container. This looks really good. This is the best my lemon balm has ever looked. I have not harvested, so I need to go ahead and harvest and get me a first harvest off that, and then probably need to find me a bigger pot. So lemon balm is good for, I think, digestion as well as for like a tea. So far so good. Then in this bed here we have bell peppers, and then this pepper here is a pepper that I grew 2 years ago, and I'll tell you about that when I turn the camera back around about this one. But I got bell peppers in here. I have some basil, and you can see I have, those are droppings of some sort. Oh, y'all, look at that butterfly. Look at that. How beautiful. Back to the basil. That's droppings of some sort, but because it's on the leaves, I'm thinking, is that a bird because it's up high? I see some of the basil eaten, which I've never had a problem with my basil being eaten, so that's interesting. Let me know if y'all have ever had that. I'm not sure what that is. That's a first. And then we have some nasturtiums. Back here in the back, we have our fairy tale eggplant, so that's one that could be harvested. And then let's go around on the other side. These are our giant Marconi peppers. They've been producing well all summer long. And then these are the sweet bonnet peppers. They are finally turning colors and looking good, and they've been doing well. So I wanted to tell you about this pepper here. So I grew it about 2 years ago. I actually got it from my doctor, who loves plants, and he knows that I love plants. And so he gave me this. It's a plant from Africa. He did not know the name of it. It's just a pepper, and he grows like exotic peppers. He travels a lot, and he gets peppers wherever he goes. And so he gave me this 2 years ago, and I grew it. It tastes so good. It is not spicy. It's more of almost like a smoky, I don't know what it is, but this is how it's, I mean, it's not big. It starts off this green yellow and then turns orange. I have looked it up. I've seen other ones that look similar, like a ahi pepper. Lexi, don't come in here. Like a ahi pepper. But everything that I look up does not match this shape and size. It almost looks like, well, like a little tooth, but not really. I don't know what it is. I haven't been able to figure out the name of it, but I just grow it, and it is so good. It has such good flavor when I put it in beans and rice. I can't even describe it. I've never had another pepper like it. But anyway, I know I'm not helping you, because if you want it, I don't know how to get it to you. And last year when I saved the plant and tried to overwinter it, it did not produce again. I'm not sure why. I could have just been me doing something wrong. And I didn't save the seeds from the first time, but I gave somebody some. They saved the seeds, and they tried to grow the plant. It didn't grow for them. Anyway, I just got me another one this year. He saved one for me. But yeah, it tastes so good. The flavor is like, it's like nothing I've never tasted before. So anyway, that plant is finally producing and growing well. So that's the first side of the tunnel in the raised beds. Let's go take a look at the other side of the raised bed. Okay, this is our pollinator patch. You'll see that it is definitely less empty. I came in here last week and kind of cleaned it out, the parts and the flowers that were kind of just not doing as well. I took them out, and remember, these flowers have been in here since April. In the tunnel. So I took it out, cleared it out. You can see the coleus is doing fantastic. It still looks good. I got some small dahlias in the back. These are some lemon marigolds on the side. They haven't produced flowers in a while, and that's okay. And then I have some celosia right here in the front, and then a celosia right there. So let me tell you what I'm going to do with this bed. So this particular bed was strictly for beauty and for pollinators. It is just to bring the bees in. I always have a pollinator patch because I have the space and I can do that, but that's all it's for. It's not for anything else other than that, which those are good things. So what I'm thinking about doing is, this will probably be one of the first beds that I will flip over or transition to fall. So a couple of things. I'm thinking about using this bed for for fall potatoes. I've never done a batch of fall potatoes before, but they just came today. I'm gonna try it. So I'm thinking I may use this bed. If so, I'm gonna have to pull up all these flowers now, and I'm not sure that I'm ready to do that, to part with my flowers. I have another spot in the back of my house that I can do the potatoes. So if I do the potatoes in the back of the house, I'll use this as one of the first beds, and I could do carrots in here. I'm still working through what my fall plan, like I know what I'm going to plant, but I have not mapped out my crop plan about where everything is going to go. So anyway, we got some options. But this will probably be one of the first beds that I will flip just because it's strictly flowers. But while I have them, I'm going to keep looking at them. Okay, half of this bed is celery. I've been really bad about harvesting the celery. I don't know if it's still good or if it's better. Celery is really more in the cool weather. And so, of course, it's been hot in here. This variety, this is the first time I've successfully grown celery, so that's why I'm a little, I would say, clueless as to the celery game or whatever. So I'm going to test it and see if it's bitter. If not, I'll pull it up. I could always replant it for the fall because it likes cooler temperatures versus hot. It probably should have been gone, but, you know, time. The rest of this bed is basil. Some of it has gone to seed, which is fine. I have more basil that I can replant in here, but I see some of the same droppings on one of these basil plants that I saw over there. Let me show you. Okay, y'all, let's see if I can find it from this angle. Okay, you see that there? Yeah, and that's really on the underside, and I see a little bit in here. I don't see it anywhere else. Interesting. I mean, yeah. It just goes to show you that one crop you can grow successfully for years and never see an issue, and then you can see an issue all of a sudden. And not that I didn't grow it successfully, but I've never seen droppings on basil, so I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, I'm not sure. Let me show you the other bed. Okay, before I show you the next bed, so what I wanted to say about this bed is that this, again, as I'm thinking about transition to fall, this is another bed that would be more first in the rotation to flip. One, because it has a lot of basil and herbs in it, and I do have a lot of basil on the property in other places, so I could get by with not having it in this bed. Plus, I have new basil to plant, so once I find a place to plant that may not be this bed, then I should be good. Now, I'll be honest, I have not harvested nearly enough basil. So I definitely need more basil. So before I flip this bed, I would make sure that I have basil or a plan for basil. But it has celery that I'm pretty sure it probably, I don't know, it may be bitter. It may not be. But again, I could flip this bed pretty easily because it's basil and celery, and I can do celery again for the fall. Basil I can put somewhere else. So again, in terms of timing, this will be one of the first ones that would be up for rotation. And I say that because if I'm debating between, if I needed 2 beds, you know, to start off with, before I would take a bed of green beans or peppers, I would take my bed of flowers, the celery, and the herbs. That's just kind of my thinking. Let me show you this last raised bed. This is also another herb bed. So here is supposed to be echinacea, and it's actually blooming. I've never gotten this far, y'all. This will be a first. But yeah, this is echinacea. And there's another one back there. And then also in this bed are cayenne peppers, as well as the Thai chili peppers. And then we have some herbs. We have lavender, we have lemon, thyme, we have some parsley that is being run over by these peppers. I need to stand these up so they can actually get some sunlight there. Oh, this is actually a zinnia that needs to be stood up. But y'all, look at the cayenne peppers that are coming. Yeah, I need to stand this up. And then I got the coleus there that is looking good. And then I have some sage here. We've harvested that one time. And then if we go around, we got more sage there, more coleus. And then these are all the Thai chili peppers here. And then we have a zinnia there and rosemary there. So I definitely need to come in and clean this bed up. It is kind of packed and overcrowded, so I'll have to do that pretty soon. this bed here, y'all, look at this comfrey. Do y'all see this? This comfrey has like, I need to harvest some more. And I actually got some holes in it. I haven't seen that before. So there's something in here trying to get my stuff. Again, it wasn't like this 2 days ago, so something has been in here in the last couple of days. But look how big that is. It is practically taking over half of this thing. That's Thai basil. That's just a plant for decoration. And then back here is some more basil. So y'all, got basil everywhere. And then let's go see this one over here. That's my lime tree. This is my lemon tree. Let's get you more in the sun. You're being shaded. We'll put you right there too. So that's the lemon tree. And then in this one is a sunflower that needs to come out. That's more basil. And then this is lemon thyme. This one is not doing as well. That's sage, and then that's oregano. Now let's take a look at the pepper row. I just harvested a whole bunch of peppers when I came out here, but the peppers are doing good, y'all. I'm getting so many peppers. Oh, there must be one that I missed there. But we've had a hard time just keeping them up. So we've had to stake them and not have them on the ground as much. But overall, they are doing well. Okay, so the tomato row, we got a couple of tomatoes down. Well, I think just one that's down. I have not harvested tomatoes, but I see that I got plenty to harvest. But so far, they're still doing good. Y'all, I never let them get this red on the vine, but that's because I haven't been out here in a couple of days. And they still look good, which is surprising, but they will be gotten today. So far, still looking good. I got quite a few. Again, I never let them get this red and blush. As soon as they start blushing, I get them in the house, but this is not being out here harvesting in a couple of days. You can see, not damage, but it's definitely wearing out up there. This whole second row, it's hard to get down there with the camera, but this is cherry tomatoes and paste tomatoes. You can see I have some there. These plants don't look as good anymore, and I'll talk a little bit about that. I'll try to show you as I go down this third row, which are the jalapeno peppers a lot. So you can see that we're still producing jalapenos. All of these are jalapeno plants. They've gotten tall. It's like they shot up all of a sudden. They were, see if I can back out. They were much, much, much shorter. It's like they shot up literally all of a sudden. But we have plenty of jalapenos that we are still picking. And then this row here is where we pulled up all of our cucumber plants. And I've already replanted more. So you can see all down the row are the new cucumber plants that I just planted. So that's the high tunnel in a nutshell. So let me talk about a couple of things. So I talked first about, starting to think about the fall. So if you're continuing on into the fall, one of the things is to figure out where you're going to grow. And by the way, let me just tell you, if you missed the fall gardening workshop and you needed help, y'all, you missed it. It was a great, great class. We had a ton of good information shared. It was great interaction. If there was somebody who attended the workshop, just go ahead and put your comments down below. Let the people know they missed it. They missed it. But anyway, when it comes to fall, just like with anything. Okay, so as I was saying about the fall, be intentional, know where you're going to plant your crops. For me, I have 3 growing spaces, but in the fall and winter, I'm only going to use this outside of my garlic being in the back of my house. Everything else will be in here. So because this is a tunnel and because my stuff will produce past the normal summer, I have to be thinking about, okay, which spaces will I turn first in terms of spaces to put my fall crops in versus letting some other things keep going. So definitely be intentional about your space. The other thing is, overall, we're at the end of July. July is by far our heaviest harvest month. you can see the tomatoes, to me, they don't look as good as they did last month, but that's normal. That's to be expected. No matter how much you fertilize, no matter how much you take care of your plants, they do have a lifespan. And when it comes to tomatoes, again, they're not going to last and look great for 6 months. They're just not. These tomatoes have been in ground since like the second week of April. So they are going on there, May, June, July. They are almost 4 months in, and they're just now starting to look bad. They're still producing. Now, I feel like in the last week or two, the tomato production has dropped down some, as well as the bell pepper production. We're still getting a lot, but it's not as many, right? I would say in the last week or so, probably in the last 7 to 10 days. And so I know that it's going to start slowing down even more, but we will still have tomatoes. We will still have peppers. I've had peppers in here in September, the end part of September, if I just keep letting them go. Now, they won't ripen to their color. They'll just be green, but I will still have bell peppers. But again, I just wanted to show you that, again, if your tomato plants are starting, especially if they're out in the sun and they're outside, if they're starting to look worn and they've been in the ground since, let's say, end of April, early May, that is normal. That is normal. They have a life cycle. And usually by August, they start to look really bad. And that's when a lot of pest and disease will come upon the tomatoes, just because they're kind of nearing the end of their life cycle. But let's take a quick look at the outside garden. And let me show you that I'm putting it all in one video this time so you can get it before July ends. And I think I can kind of, get it all in one video. So let's go take a look at the outside garden. So if you're new here, like I said, we have 3 spaces. Where we are right now is in the outside garden. This is all in ground, and I only grow out here in the summertime. It is about 4,000 square feet. We have about 8 rows that are 100 feet long. So, oh, that breeze feels so good. It's like the sun just went behind. Now, if it can just stay like this, that would be awesome. That breeze feels so amazing. It's like the sun just kind of passed over and went that way. So let me show you this of what's going on here. And I got a couple of things that you're going to want to see that I thought was going to go well. It hadn't gone so well. So let me show you. Okay, so y'all remember this. So this is where we had our onions at the beginning of the season. They were all the way down. We planted 400 onions. We pulled those onions up. We battled with weeds a lot. And then we covered half of it, as you can see, with black paper. And we left this part out to do our corn. Do y'all see any corn? It ain't no corn, y'all. None whatsoever. Okay, y'all, I was real hopeful for a second succession of corn. But I had issues with the corn germinating. Now, had we had the rain during the time that I first planted this corn, I probably would have had better success. We were manually watering this. And then I was out of town. There were just, I don't know, it was not good timing. It did not go well. All I can say, y'all, is the corn. I got 1 or 2 that germinated, and 1 or 2 is not going to be enough for a corn patch. So, do I have time to do it again? Technically, I do, but it's right at the limit. Am I going to do it? No, I'm not. I don't have the mental energy, the mental space. I'm just going to let it be. I'm just going to let it be. And sometimes, y'all, it's like that. Sometimes I'm like gung-ho. I'm like, nope, I'm going to do it. It's not getting the best of me. And there's other times that I just, you know what? I'm not going to even worry about it. It all depends on what's going on in your life, what's going on in your mental space. And so I want to give you permission, when you have those moments, it's okay. Just don't let it be sustained moments where you're like, okay, I ain't did nothing for, weeks or months, and I don't want to garden anymore. We're not going to accept that behavior. But there's times when you just say, you know what? I'm just going to count it. It's not even a loss, right? It was extra. It was an experiment. And again, I'm right at the limit to do it again. I'm right at the limit. I think there's like 84 days left. I have a variety that's 75 days. I mean, that's, to me, it's not worth it to me. It's not worth for me to get back down on my hands and knees. It's not worth for me to get back down and try to manually water every day, twice a day. Again, with all the rain that we had, it probably would have been good if it would have happened around this time. Also, I don't know if something got in here and ate the seed. I have no idea. I just know that it did not germinate well, and I was in and out, gone. It is what it is. We're just going to let it be. I'm going to tell my husband, you can just cover this right back on up so that I don't have to deal with it. And it's amazing how now there's hardly no weeds in the holes when we had plenty of weeds before. But he can just bring this right on up and we can be done until next year. Let me show you how the other rows are doing. Okay, so I'm gonna walk this row. These are all like bell peppers, roasting peppers. There's a jalapeno, I think that's what that is. I say that, oh no, this is not Azure Varsity. I say that because I'm like, I haven't picked jalapenos on this row. It's just that they look like that as they're small. That's a weed that needs to come up. That's a nice big bell pepper right there that needs to be harvested. But mainly, the half of this row are bell peppers, roasting peppers, more basil that's gone to seed, more peppers, and then we get to our okra. And y'all know I've had a love-hate relationship with the okra. And y'all, this is why. Like, I missed yesterday, and already this one is too big to even eat and do anything with. I mean, it is such a diva. But look at these okra flowers. Okra makes some of the most beautiful, beautiful flowers. Beautiful flowers. They're doing pretty good. So you can see I got plenty of okra to come out here and harvest. I say plenty for me. So we all know that okra is the diva of the garden. Like, she wants to be picked every single day. And if you don't pick her every day, she gets mad and goes home with her toys. I'm like, I'm going to get so big, you're not going to even be able to deal with me. And that's what she does. But I will tell you, I have done much better with okra this year than I have before. I only have 8 okra plants. The most I will ever do again is maybe 10. And that's it. This has been manageable. For the most part, we are able to pick it every day. There are days that we miss, but it's not that big of a deal. And when I do pick, I probably get 10 to 15 okra a day, which is not a lot. But by the end of the week, it's enough for, a serving. And I have not even cooked any yet. I've just been putting it in the freezer once I, have enough to do. So I'm pleased and I'm happy with that ratio. So I'm pleased and happy with that ratio. Again, this is the perfect amount of okra plants. It still gives me okra, but I can manage it. So I think I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plants. So I'm saying that because next year, if I do any more than that, it'll only be 10. But 8 to 10 is perfect. The rest of this row is mostly, there's a couple of peppers, but there's just mostly flowers that are beautiful. I need to make me another arrangement. If you didn't see my flower arranging video, go take a look if you're interested in arranging flowers. So that's the celosia down there. Then we get to this row here. This is the red scarlet runner. Now, since the last time I talked about her, I have lots of red flowers. These were not here before. Maybe I'm going to have green beans, but it has not produced anything. Not one thing yet. But the flowers are pretty. And then here's the purple Triofano green bean. It has started producing. I would say decent. It's not prolific by any stretch of the imagination, but it is producing. And then these are the Kentucky Wonder. Once I talked about her, she started producing. So I'm probably getting maybe a bucket a week, I would say. So that's all good. You can see I got those there, so I need to do a harvest for sure. And then as we go up this row, all the rest of this is purple hull peas. We have done, I think, 4 major harvests of these so far. These really thrive in heat, so these will last definitely to the end of August for sure. So we'll definitely get more of these for sure. But you can see they're producing pretty well, but I will tell you that the rain definitely impacted them. So take a look at that right there. You can see those here that don't look as hot. So like I said, too much of a good thing, too much of anything is not good. So the rain definitely impacted the purple hull peas. So what you're seeing is that they just, I don't know what the word is. Maybe they just matured too fast, but they went from the green to the purple to that stage where it's almost like dried out. It's almost as if, hey, nobody's picked me for like 2 weeks and I dried on the vine and you can use it for seed. But that's not exactly what happened. We have been picking this, but I think because of the heavy amount of rain, it just, I don't know, it's almost like it expedited. That's the only explanation I have because it's never done it before. My purple hull peas, they've never looked like that. ever. So it has to be just the rain and just, I don't know, too much moisture. I don't know, but it's not a big deal. We, like I said, have had 4 major harvests. I'm sure we will get at least 3 to 4 more, which is going to be plenty and just fine. Let's take a look at the next 2 rows. I'm not going to walk down these 2 rows because you kind of saw that on a couple of videos ago. We still haven't gotten the debris out yet because, again, rain. We haven't been able to get out here. But basically, that row on the right was all squash. The only thing we have left in that row is honey patch squash and some flowers and basil down there. And then in this row here, we had, what do we have? Oh, we had some cayenne peppers that had been eaten up by pests, which I've never seen cayenne eaten by pests. But on the rest of the row is tomatoes. And then we have, we'll take you on the back half of that row when I do the tomato row and show you that. But here is the tomato row that's outside. It is on a trellis. You can see that we do have some browning in there. And again, that's just due to rain, and they've been here a while. They have been here a while, but so far we still have tomatoes. They're not ripening as fast, you can tell, because they're outside, and they have not had a lot. It's been like 80 degrees. They haven't had really hardly any sun in 2 weeks, besides, you know, just a little bit here and there. It's really been overcast for 2 weeks, so you can see that they're not ripening as much. So you can see I still have clusters and clusters of tomato, but they are straight green. Let me step this way so you can see. So like this brand, these have hardly any tomatoes on them. There's one like down there, so it's definitely slowed down, and you can tell the rain has definitely taken a toll. There's one that's good there. Let me take you to the other side of this row so I can show you what's going on down there. So these rows, this is the other side of where the squash was that we pulled up. And so in this row here, I planted green beans. Only one is germinated and actually growing, which is there. The rest of the row, not so much. Then here, I had jalapenos that I planted. And I don't know if you can see here, this is usually standing water right here. It's drying up right now, I guess because the sun is out. But remember those 2 plants I showed you in the raised bed that had those really, really yellow leaves? They came from out here. It was so much, it doesn't drain well in this section here. We knew that from last year. Haven't quite figured out how to fix it and what to do. But it's funny because my corn was here and it did fine. But it just goes to show you different crops. But when I put the jalapenos here as seedlings, they did not do well. And like I said, I took them in there to see if I can revive them. So it was already standing water only before we had the rain. But now that it's been raining, these whole 2 rows, just hardly nothing germinated. And you would think the rain, so I don't know if the rain washed away the seed where the green beans were, but only one germinated and is growing. And I'm going to let it be. Lastly, as we walk up, on the left side are peppers, and on the right side is our watermelon patch. You can see we have some, they're not ready yet, they're not big enough, coming along that way. You saw that we had a big watermelon harvest last week, if you saw that video. But y'all look, it looks like almost death here. Not death, that's too strong of a word, but you see all this brownage? Again, I think this is because of all of the rain and water. We've taken off the drip, but it's been getting plenty of rain, so I don't know why it would be brown, because it's getting plenty water. So maybe that's a sign of too much. Again, I've never seen this before either. But you can see I lost more watermelons. That one has split, which it wasn't going to be ready yet anyway, but it's split because of the water. And then there's another one back there that's split. There's another one over there that's split. Oh my goodness. You see that? I see 2 more that's split. Oh, all of this is basil. But look, y'all, look at all this. Literally, all of this brown. And I don't even know why. Because when I tell you it's moist out here, it is moist. but this is almost like it hasn't had any water at all. If you have any explanation, let me know. I'm guessing because that's the only thing I got. Sometimes you are guessing as a gardener, right? I've been doing it for 4 years, which is not a long time. And there's some things that I know now that I didn't know then, but there's so much more that I don't know. And that's okay. That's how you learn. It's part of the journey. So I'm guessing, and my only denominator that is different is the 2 weeks of rain. That's it. So I'm blaming it all on the rain. I'm blaming it on the rain. Blaming it all on the rain. That may not be the issue, but I don't know what else it could be. I'm at a loss because that's the only denominator that has changed in the last 2 weeks. And before that, it was not doing that. It was not doing that at all. I had no splitting. I had no brownage of any sort. They were looking so good and so healthy. Now, even in spite of all that, did I harvest a lot of watermelons? Yes. Have they been great? Yes. So I still was able to yield, but it hurts your heart when you like, man, I've lost like 10. Right now, again, we sell our excess or whatever it is, extra money to go into the farm and go back into the farm. So we're not depending on it to eat. But if I was, my goodness, 10 is a lot. 10 is a lot. But I see some other ones over there that look pretty good and big. Let's go see if they're ready yet. So the way you test to see if a watermelon is ready is that you're looking for the tendril closest to the watermelon, which for me is right here. I don't know that you can see that, but this is the tendril where I'm pointing and it's brown. And then you want to look on the underside and you want a yellow spot, which I don't see the yellow spot. But it should be like a yellow circular patch there. So for this one, the tendril is brown. Hopefully you can see yellow patch. So this one, I'm more inclined to pull that it's ready. That one, because it doesn't have the yellow patch, I wouldn't pull it. But this one, I would pull for sure. Yellow patch, and it has a brown tendril right here, which you probably can't see because I can't zoom in and get in here. But I'm gonna tell my husband to come and get this one before it splits or somebody else does. Can you believe it's thundering? It just started thundering. The rain is on its way back. Just like that. I need to see if my husband can come up here and get this watermelon because she looks good. She looks real big and juicy. I know I can't see juicy, but she looks real big and she has the signs that she is ready. So I'm gonna see if he can come out here and get her before it starts pouring down raining. I do not want that one to split. Now the other ones that are split, again, let's say they weren't split, it still was not time to get them. They hadn't even got to their size yet. So it split before it's time. But if it had not split, maybe it could have kept growing and got to a size and been harvestable, but it's not. I don't know if you can hear that thunder, but it's thundering. Oh, there's my husband right there. I don't know where he's going, but I'm gonna try to get him to stop and come get this watermelon. Yes, 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 yes. I know you're probably on your way somewhere, but I'm gonna need you to stop and come get this watermelon. Yes, 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 yes. He's pulling in, pulling in. Honey, can you grab a watermelon for me? Because it's about to start raining again. Saved the day. She big, isn't she? Okay, y'all. Hubby came and got the watermelon. I didn't even get a chance to check the rest of them to see if they're ready, but he's down here now. We're swapping out. He's going to see if they're ready while he does some work down here. I told him it was thundering. He looked at me like, it ain't raining. Y'all, we've been having, I'm telling you, it's like the, you know, the what do you call it? The jumper. We got to get in where you can. Get in where you can. But anyway, so y'all, thank you so much for joining me today and seeing all of my spaces today, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Again, I want to show you the real deal. I think overall things look good. There are some things that are not producing as well as it did. There's some things that don't look as well as it did, but we're at the end of July, right? And so some of that is to be expected. Anyway, I hope that your gardens are going oh so well. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed. I would love for you to be a part of this community. Remember, gardening is a journey. Let's grow together. I'll see you next time, friend.